right. What is up? What is up? All right. Let me get a quick stream in right quick. I got some time to kill. I'm gonna talk some NBA. I'm gonna talk some boxing. Just for the time being. But I'm gonna start with the NBA. Man. Okay, so the second round is about to completely start. Like basically, it got a couple of more games to go. It's looking like the Lakers will be facing more than likely the Houston Rockets, and then the Clippers will be facing probably the Jazz. So we got Miami versus the Bucks, and then we got the Raptors versus the Celtics. The Celtics has won game one. Then you had the Clippers close out the Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard was awesome. But Paul George is very shaky. Now, keep in mind, as I said before on a couple other videos, Paul George got a history of being kind of shaky in the playoffs. And Paul George is going to have to shake this shit off, though. If he's starting to get cold feet, man, he better get in the steam room or something, man. For real. Because Paul George is needed. I mean, the man played 40 minutes yesterday and scored only 15 points. Except for game 5, Paul George has just been very mediocre, and I'm being nice by saying mediocre. He hasn't played up to his capability and up to his potential. And Paul George has been around long enough where, he should know what to do. He a little too deep in his career to where he having playoff meltdowns. But he's not been good in this series, and they're going to need him for the next series. Just as well as Milwaukee is going to need Chris Middleton to show up big. Because Chris Middleton has been, run-of-the-mill all year long. He hasn't played that good this year according to what they paid him. He should be playing way better than what he's doing, because they gonna have their hands full with the Heat. Now, as far as the overall series go, I'll pick Milwaukee to be in the finals versus the Clippers, and I can't switch up. So I'm gonna take Milwaukee. I'm gonna take Milwaukee in. I'll take them in 6 versus the Heat. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat could pull this series off. I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat won this series, but I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I just really am. And then if you look at if you just look at the Clippers, man, you just like, man, come on, Paul, what's going on, bruh? Now, as far as Dallas go, it ain't Luka's time. It's not his time. Luka gonna have plenty of time to get, to reach the mountaintop. I think Luka will win multiple league MVPs, and I do think he'll win a couple of championships. But I think some things that Luka needs to work on. Luka needs to learn how to play with his back to the basket. He needs to develop a consistent mid-range game, and he needs to possibly explore not having the ball in his hands so much. What's up? I think Luka needs to try that 2-guard a little bit more in going into season 3, because he had the ball like 90% of the time. He have to do everything. He has too much to do. So they need to try to find him a point guard and see, could Luka play without the ball? Could he have his shot set up for him, which means Luka would have to become a better shooter. Cause I mean he could slash and get to the basket, but he would have to like really work on his outside game. Like his mid range game, develop a consistent jump shot. H, what did I not say that Luka? Did I not say Luka was a bad player? You not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying how he can improve. I didn't say that the dude couldn't play. I said how he could get better. You gotta listen, bro. For real, you gotta listen. Nobody said Luka wasn't the truth. I'm just saying how he can become a better overall player. He needs to work on his mid-range game. He needs to learn how to play without the ball so much. He needs to learn how to play with his back to the basket. That's all I'm saying, man. You gotta listen. Nobody I ain't chopping the dude down. I'm just saying there's room for improvement. I mean, he only finished in year 2. So I'm just saying, he haven't even reached his full potential yet. That's all I'm saying. He had the ball too much in his hands. I don't like that point forward shit or that point. They need to find that dude like a real point guard that he can play with. But nobody said that his game, I'm not like saying the dude can't play. I'm just saying how he can get better. You gotta listen, man. So that's all I'm saying. There's always room for improvement. I mean, Giannis got better like over the years, Still need to work on his free throw shooting, but he got a little bit of a mid-range game. That three-pointer was falling this year. So I mean, I'm just saying Giannis then became a better player than what he was. He then got better each year. But nah, he ain't that guy yet. He gonna be that guy in a couple of years. He gotta work on some things. But the dude can play. The dude can play. Like, I mean, if you want to go by statistics say that he possibly the best second-year player ever, with the exception of Wilt Chamberlain. That's what they saying. But like, his time gonna come. His time gonna come. What's up? Yeah, his time is gonna come. But right now, it's Kawhi time, and I want Kawhi to get there though. I really do. I really hope the Clippers get there, but man, Paul George is so shaky. I don't trust Paul George right about now, because I think, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Paul George is real shaky. I mean, you just got to be honest. Paul George was just not good in this series. Yeah, Paul George, he just wasn't good in this series. And had Paul George got it going, this series probably would have only went like 5 games. So Paul George gonna have to get it going in the second round, in the second round, because it's getting to the point to where Kawhi is doing too much, and you don't want it to be to the point to where they just start double and triple teaming Kawhi. Even though the Clippers got scorers on that team, they got Harrell, they got they got Reggie Jackson, they got Beverly if he come back. So they got people that can step up and score. But at the same time, you really need Paul George to step it up. And my man Paul George ain't looking too good these days. So we'll see what he does in the next series. And then the Bucks, I'm worried about the Bucks because I think they got the same problem. Uh, I'm gonna be at work. I'll try to seek and I'll try to sneak in there. I'll try to see. I'll try to see. Like if it would have been on Tuesday, that would have been a little bit more better because I'm off Tuesday. But I'll see what I can do. You know, I'll try. I'll try. So yeah, I'm supposed to be visiting. I'm gonna go visit Devin Haney's camp probably next month when I go to Las Vegas because I think he'll be in full camp for I guess for Gamboa. It's looking like Gamboa is looking like it's gonna be Gamboa, but nothing's official yet. I really didn't ask Bill who was they fighting the last time I talked to him, which was a couple of days ago. But whoever they fighting, I'll go visit them in camp and see what's up. You know, and that depends on how deep in Vegas they is, because Las Vegas is pretty damn big. So we'll see what's up with that. So and let me continue talking boxing right quick. I'm looking at the last two fights that Foxton had. You had Laura who fought. Oh man, God, that was man. Laura just really he just really make you pull out your hair if you got any hair, because they gave him a dude that he was supposed to knock out, and he just, like I said, he just played it safe. And this is why they don't be wanting to put Laura in as a main event. Like I said, had they been a live audience at that fight, people would have walked out of the arena and they would have been booing. And like I said, had he been on HBO, they would have been ripping him to shreds. You could hear Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant now talking a gang of shit about how bad Laura was. But he's stuck in his ways. I just think Hey H, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. There was a song by Public Enemy, "Don't Believe the Hype." Anybody that's sitting up here, like, for real, I'm just a realist. I mean, don't listen to some of these dudes that's really like trying to perpetrate a fraud and got people thinking that Bud is scared of Gary Russell Jr. That is just absurd. And like I said, I'm not even listening to that bullshit. Gary Russell Jr. has no chance. Gary Russell Jr. has no chance. He has no chance versus Terrence Crawford. That fight ain't gonna be sanctioned. I don't want to see it. And as far as Devin Haney go, I don't know about Gary Russell Jr. I just think Gary Russell Jr. just in a bad place right now. Well, Devin Haney is within more reach than Devin Haney isn't within more reach than Bud. I mean, for real, man. You talking about? I mean, 10 pounds is a lot different from trying to gain 20 pounds. That's within reach. So why would you want to see a fight where, well, it's almost like Bud would be fighting to nobody? That don't make any kind of sense, because Gary Russell Jr. not going to win that fight. And at the end of the day, it's not Bud's fault that he can't get certain fights because of politics. I'm keeping it 100. Bud is just too gigantic for Gary Russell Jr. Have any of y'all seen Gary Russell Jr. in person? I have. He's not that big. Have y'all seen Bud in person? You would clearly see a difference. It's it it's just not going. It's just not feasible. Cause Bud is a legit like. Cause I'm like 5'11". Bud is like 5'9". Well, if the money is there, then if the money is has they've been an offer. Is the zone willing to pay Gary Russell Jr. that type of money? Because a fight with Devin would make more sense than a fight with Bud. Because the weight thing is within reach. I know Gary Russell Jr. is like at 126, but I think him jumping 2 weight classes to fight Devin, or maybe they could find, some common ground with a catch weight or something. That's more feasible than like asking this man to jump 4 weight classes. It's just like I get like tired of talking about it. You asking a man to jump 4, that man ain't finna jump no 4 weight classes. Now, like I said, if the money is there, if the zone and Devin make Gary a formal offer, then that fight would make more sense. I mean for real. Yeah, but Josh Taylor, here's the thing. Josh Taylor is at 140 right now. This is the master plan. This is the master plan. The master plan is for Josh Taylor, if he wins his fight, I don't see no reason why he won't win his fight coming up. And then him and Jose Ramirez is going to fight. And then the winner of that fight get maybe one tune-up fight. And then if nothing hasn't happened with Bud, if he ain't got whatever he searching for, then Bud would fight either Josh Taylor or Jose Ramirez. So that would be an option for him. But it's looking like Bud is in serious negotiations with Kell Brook for November. Now, the thing is, you wonder if Kell Brook gonna pull out of the fight, because it's very difficult for, it's just very difficult to negotiate with Kell Brook. He's just very difficult to negotiate with. Like I said, I won't believe it. I won't believe it until I actually see. Like I said, with Kell Brook, I won't believe it till I actually see him walk into the ring. Because he didn't pulled out of so many fights. He didn't pulled out of countless fights. So like I said, I won't believe it until I actually see Kell Brook making his way to the ring. Then I'll believe he about to fight. Because he'll sit up there and say the fight is almost done, and then next thing you know, he pulls out of the fight, and then he say he want to go another. Well, this is what I keep trying to tell you. That Gary Russell Jr. versus Bud, he capping. I mean, it made good internet. Talk, but a smart man, no. Nah, they want to get Taylor. They want to get that Ramirez fight, because that Ramirez fight is for undisputed. They want to get it. They want to have it for undisputed. So pretty much, whoever moves up to 147, they leave from being undisputed, and then they go up to 147. That's the overall plan. But if I was a betting man, I probably would take Taylor to win that fight. I would take Taylor to probably win that fight. Well, hey, well, it's like this. It's like this, H Money. You making a lot more. You would make a lot more sense to fight Devin Haney than you would to fight Bud. I don't think he gonna beat Devin Haney, but that make more sense. I mean, for real, that make more sense than sitting up there trying to go up like you try to go up 4 weight classes. I mean, can we just cut the shit? Can we please cut the shit? Because we know anybody with common sense know Gary Russell Jr. ain't going up no 4 weight classes to fight no Bud Crawford. I mean, the smartest man would know that. I mean, the average boxing fan should know that. Like I said, man, I know it's people out there that have vendettas against Bud for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, you sitting up here putting out false claims and it's really fake news. Bob Arum not gonna make that fight. They not even gonna sanction a fight like that. I'm just keeping it 100. They're not even gonna sanction a fight like that. For real. I can't even imagine Gary Russell Jr. trying to make 147. I just can't even imagine it. And I know people gonna bring up Manny Pacquiao. Well, we already suspect something. Well, what's up with Manny Pacquiao? So I'm gonna leave that alone. Appreciate that. All right, you guys, I'll be back on in an hour.